Hey everybody, I want to welcome you to Desert Sky Mystic. Today we are going to be doing our love and relationship reading for Capricorn. So this is a timeless reading. So if something has attracted you to this video and you find yourself watching this, there is a message in here for you. If it does resonate with you, then please make sure to like the video. And then of course, if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel as well. That helps us out quite a bit. And I will thank you in advance for that too. So this is a kind of a 3-in-1 reading. Wanted to help as many people as possible. So the first part is going to be for those of you that are in a relationship. The second part is going to be for those of you that want to be in a relationship. And the final part is going to be for those of you that are currently or have recently moved away from or are moving away from a relationship. So there are timestamps down in the description box. If you want to just fast forward to the part of the reading that is relevant to you, just go down there and click that link and it'll fast forward you to that part of the reading. So I think that's all the housekeeping items I have. Let's go on and jump right in and see what today has in store for all of my Capricorn friends. Okay, so if you are here for the part of the reading, for those of you that are in a current relationship, you are in the right spot. Let's go on and jump right in and see what we are working with today. Okay, Hawk Spirit, let Spirit be your guide. So this is really kind of calling for you to, almost have a belief in something larger than yourself, something, perhaps something's happening in your relationship right now, or something is causing strain on your, relationship right now. And you're really going to have some belief here is what this is calling for, and perhaps it's, perhaps the relationship itself is under strain and you're trying to figure out whether or not this is worth moving forward. And I think right now this is calling out for you to rely on Spirit, no matter what the actual end result of that is that you're going to have to trust that whatever ends up happening is meant to happen, and really just kind of trust and go with the flow here on this. We're going to pop some clarification cards out here and see if we can get some more information on, where this is going and who this is supposed to be resonating for. But I think just in general, just understanding and believing that things turn out the way they're supposed to turn out one way or another is something that'll be very healthy and helpful for you at this point in time in the relationship. So let's take a look here. Okay, yeah. So I mean, it doesn't look like we're in a very good spot right now. Gosh, we got the guilt card and the isolation card. These are two tough cards, really. I mean, we have the guilt card, which could be guilt, could be anxiety, could be, it's all those things that are just like spinning around in our head that are just that thing that's in our head replaying itself over and over and over again, driving us crazy. And I mean, you can see these little gray hands pulling at her hair, and she's like screaming, and there's all this grayness and clouds, but one thing I do like about this card is that although there's all this ugliness right now and all this strife, I mean, we do have this kind of like this flowering effect coming in. So I think this is a temporary thing. I think that, actually, I kind of like the idea that, it says, let Spirit be your guide. It's coming in from above, below. So I think that you're working yourself out of this, that there's some guidance here, that Spirit really is moving you in one way or another here to where you're supposed to be. Also, I think this is stuck. I think this is something you're doing over and over and over and over again. This isolation card here is about being stuck in this emotion and not being able to break free from it. And so this tends to be something that happens, it's sticking around longer too. So, I mean, perhaps this is some trouble that's been going on in a relationship for quite some time. You can't figure it out. You don't know where to go. I mean, and things are getting worse and worse and worse. And, you don't want it to. Maybe you don't want this relationship to end, but you don't know what to do here. So, I mean, some of the things we could be talking about here is if you can't get this figured out on your own, go in to get help. Maybe it's marriage counseling. Maybe it's, maybe if there's addiction issues involved in this relationship, maybe it's addiction counseling, whatever that is, getting some help and trying to figure out something just to get a little bit of this ice broken free so you can start making some progress. But at the end of the day, you got to put your effort in and everything else, but know that whatever the ultimate outcome here, what this message is trying to tell you is that this is going to turn out the way that it was supposed to. And that when this is either resolved, well, when this is resolved, whatever that outcome is, that this was all for good reason. There's stuff you're supposed to pull out of this. There's lessons you're supposed to learn. There's value even in the misery that you're kind of dealing with right now, which doesn't help you right now being in a moment. It's never easy to think in those terms. And, it's just no consolation. It doesn't help. So, but at the same time, just having that, and maybe it's something to where you need to start meditating, or doing some self-care and taking care of yourself, controlling the things that you can control, so that the impact of all the stuff that you can't control isn't as great or damaging to you in the long run. Let's take a look at this advice card and see, what that has to say, if it can add anything to this message for you. I'm sorry you're dealing with whatever this is for you right now. I always hate to see people in pain, that's for sure. Let's see here. Okay, so be a curious creature. So I think this is a card about exploring. I think that I think there is some things here that you need to look at. Maybe what we were talking about earlier, with counseling and some of those things. Maybe looking at ways that if this is something that's happening between you and your partner, finding ways, things that you have in common, things that you can enjoy with each other, things that can help pull you back together, move you in the same direction. And again, maybe if it's because you guys aren't communicating and you guys can't get there, and maybe now you can't even get to the point of finding those activities that you can enjoy each other. Maybe that's the first step, going to find some help, some third party help that bridges that gap and allows and gets you that communication structure that's healthy and moves you towards a positive direction. But whatever this is, I mean, it's going to be you that has to take the action here. If you, one way or another, if you want out of this, you're going to have to do something about it. You're going to have to start moving. You're going to have to start exploring. You're going to have to look at different options. You're going to have to be a curious creature. And, regardless of whether or not they're on board for this stuff or not, all you can do is control what you can control. And I think that's a big component for you, is that you got to start getting a grip on the things that you can actually get a grip on and feel more in control of your life and your destiny. I think that's going to help you out a lot. And if that person continues to spiral, well, then so be it. You can't control that. You're just gonna have to accept it, and just once again let spirit be your guide as the reading is calling for. So thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful. I'm sorry you're going through this. If the video did resonate with you, please make sure to like the video for me and hit that subscribe button as well. If you have any questions or comments, or feel free to leave in the comment box below, or if you need some clarification, feel free to shoot me an email as well. I'm more than happy to try to help if I can help. So thank you once again for watching. I hope this passes quickly for you. Okay, so having said that, let's move on to our next part of our reading, which is going to be for those of you that want a relationship or looking for a relationship. Okay, if you are looking for the part of a reading, for those of you that want to be in a relationship, those of you that are looking for love, you are in the right place. We're going to jump right in and see what we are working with today. Mouse spirit, tend to the small things. All right, so I think that this is a kind of interesting card in this position. Tend to the small things is really about dotting the I's, crossing the T's, making sure your house is in order, making sure your life is in order, and so before you start going and trying to complicate your life with somebody else's life, make sure all your stuff is in order, that you don't have anything major going on, that you're balanced, that you're healthy, that you know what your expectations are, you know what you want out of a relationship, you know where you're at, you know where you want to go, all of those things. I think that's what this mouse spirit card is really calling for today for you. We'll take a quick look here at what the clarification cards are and see what it adds to the reading. Because this can go a lot of different directions with just this one card here. So let's see if we can get some clarification. Very interesting. I'm really getting to things just kind of like taking things as they come. Make sure your house is in order and taking things as they come. Go with the flow. I think you maybe been through some stuff, some rough stuff. Maybe in the past. Well, of course, past relationships usually, at least at some level, aren't always the most pleasant things to end out of. But I think there's some things here that potentially, did some things and got you feeling and thinking a certain kind of ways. Some things that you may be a little scared of. Maybe you still have some little damage or some wounds there, but I think you're through that, I guess is what I'm getting at, is that even if you've experienced that, I think that you kind of integrated all of that stuff and have moved beyond that. And now you're ready for a relationship. But I think right now it's just kind of waiting for the right person and making sure that you don't get, I don't want to say desperate, but you don't jump in head first, that you are really kind of getting to know this person, making sure that, your expectations, you learn about the person before first and make sure they meet your expectations so you don't get into other relationships that were similar to the past. But I do think you're on the other side of some of that stuff, because I mean we got the Beyond Illusion card, and I always talk about the Beyond Illusion card of kind of like stepping through the other side. So if a bridge, for example, is an experience, and you can be at the beginning of an experience, and this is the actual experience as you cross the bridge. And then once you're done and you've accomplished or you've learned what you needed to do and completed that experience, that's what this Beyond Illusion card is. It's kind of stepping through. You see things for what they are now. You've learned the things. You're ready to prepare to move forward to the next thing. But again, I think this is also calling for you to really just kind of take things as they come. Make sure everything's in order, that your opportunities are coming down the line here. But it's really more about you making sure that you're happy and healthy and stable and all that stuff before you bring in the complication of somebody else. And then again, like I said before, knowing what you want, and then holding that person accountable to that as well, and communicating that stuff, and making sure they're the right person for you in that scenario. Let's take a look at the advice card and see what that has to say about the situation. See if that can add anything to our reading today. Process and absorb. Okay, so that's interesting. So I mean, I would say that this is actually kind of speaking to the idea that some of the stuff we were talking about with the experience and going with the flow and that stuff is just really taking it as it comes, understanding it, processing, absorbing it, and making sure that that you feel comfortable moving forward with this next new relationship as it comes forward, and making sure that again that if you have, it's almost like it's almost like a checklist. Like let's say this next relationship, this person has to be A, and they have to be B, and they have to be C, and they have to be D. Really looking at that, really evaluating that before it gets too serious and puts you in a position getting attached and hurt. Making sure they meet those, at least those two, three, four most important things that has to happen. Of course, we don't want to be. Nobody's going to be Mr. or Mrs. Perfect, and that's not what I'm calling for here. But there is going to be some base foundational things. For example, extreme example, but let's just say that you have a particular faith and you can't see yourself in a long-term relationship with anyone that's not of that faith. Well, if you start dating someone who's not of that faith, it's pretty much destined to fail if you hold to your criteria there. So again, a little bit of an extreme example in today's age, but that's just kind of the point is, what are those two, three, four things that are just deal killers, and making sure that the very minimum that they get past those deal killers, and taking the time to get to know them. Taking time, they make sure that before you get too involved with that, to make sure that they meet those standards for you. So I think overall good reading. I think great advice. I think that this is really setting you up for success for your future relationships as they come into them. But again, just go with the flow, see what happens here, make sure everything's straight. I get a feeling it is for you. If this will resonate with you, I think it is. I think you're ready to go. So yeah, and I hope that's the case for you. So yeah, so thank you once again for watching. If this video resonates with you, make sure to like the video for me, and then get over there and hit that subscribe button as well. That helps us out quite a bit, and we thank you in advance for that. Let's see what else here. No, that's all I got. That's all I got for this reading. We'll move on to our next reading here, which is going to be for those of you that are moving away from a relationship. Thank you once again for watching. We'll see you next time on this one. Okay, if you are looking for the reading that is for those of you that are moving out away from a relationship, away from the energy of a relationship, you are in the right place. Let's go on. I'm just going to jump right in here and see what today has in store for you. Hummingbird spirit, be here, be now. I love this card. I love this card for this particular position in terms of moving out of an energy, out of a relationship. I think it's extremely important as we move out of a relationship to really be present, just take day by day and not get hung up on the past, not get hung up on all the things that could be in the future, and just concentrate on now, concentrate on ourselves, concentrate on getting on healing, concentrate on letting the past go, and just step by step, day by day. And before you know it, we kind of moved on. There's going to be good days, going to be bad days, ups and downs. But I think for you, if you focus on today and not worry about that other stuff, it makes things a lot easier and the healings happen quicker. We're going to pull some clarification cards here to see kind of what kind of direction this takes as well. But I think overall, it's a great a great message for anybody moving out of a relationship for sure. So that's kind of an interesting combination. We got the celebration and the thunderbolt. So I mean, I think that this is twofold. I think that one, again, like I said before, there's ups and downs in any relationship. So this can be read that way. Some days you're going to be feeling great. Other days you're going to feel like the world's falling apart on you. And I think that's a pretty common deal. But I think another way to look at this is that this had to happen. This had to happen for you to be happy again, that perhaps you weren't happy in this relationship, that maybe you lost part of yourself, or maybe you didn't lose part of yourself and just wasn't a good relationship to be in, because we have the Thunderbolt card, which means everything had to come crashing down in order for things to get better. And moving away from this relationship was actually a positive thing. But in order to get out of the relationship, again, everything has to crash down. It's never really pleasant when that type of stuff happens, regardless if you ended the relationship or they ended the relationship. This is still the same kind of energy, and it doesn't mean it's necessarily pleasant. And perhaps it is. Maybe you're just like, thank goodness that's over. I mean, I don't know exactly where that's at, but even if that is where you're at, it still doesn't mean that there's not going to be some negative emotions there, that they're not going to be able to hurt you, those types of things. So I think we have that, which I like this card really, because I mean, it's for me, I always look at this as a one thing ending so that something new can begin. And for you, I see the celebration here. So I think this is a good thing. I mean, whatever this was, whatever this was, wherever you're going, it's better than where it was. And this had to end for you to get back to being, or maybe not even back to, maybe to get you to a point to where you're happy. Or perhaps this is being able to reunite. Maybe this is a relationship to where you're kind of isolated away from your friends and that person wouldn't let you do that, in your family, or those types of things. And maybe this thing had to come crashing down so you can get back to who you are, get back to the people that love you and care about you and the people that you want to be around. That's another, there's a lot of different messages for a lot of different people depending on how this resonates with you. So a couple different ways, but regardless, it looks like this is a positive thing, that this relationship has ended. And it's really calling for you to be in the here and now. Be present, day by day, step by step. Let's take a look at the advice card and see what else we can add to this reading here. Balance your energy. Perfect. That's exactly what we need to be doing. I mean, that is being in the here and now. It's about finding yourself again. It's about balancing that energy. It's about getting kind of rid of that negative and a positive, and just finding yourself again, finding out who you are outside of the relationship, rediscovering the parts of you that were lost in that relationship or that you gave up in that relationship. And now it's time to reclaim, time to move back forward, to find yourself again, because until you do that, until you balance your energy, you won't be ready to move on into something else. And I'm not even talking about moving right into another relationship. I'm talking about moving into a relationship with yourself, to feeling good, feeling happy, feeling balanced, feeling confident, all of those things that we need to kind of refigure out how to do, outside of a relationship, when a relationship affects that so many things about us. When we move away from that, those are things that we have to kind of redefine, because we're a changed person from who we were before that relationship started. So what does that mean for us? How do we integrate the good and the bad things that happened during that relationship? And now that we're moving on, who are we now, and what does that look like? And what things do we want to move forward? What are our goals? What are all of those things? So that's all this balance your energy. So I think it's great advice. I mean, it's perfect advice, really. And it just reinforces the being the here and now, because you got to be present to do that. You can't be stuck in the past, and you can't be thinking about the future all the time, and still be present. And being present is key to getting all of this stuff to happen for you. So, thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful. If it did resonate with you, make sure to like the video for me, and then jump over there, hit that subscribe button as well. That helps us out quite a bit. Thank you in advance for that. Once again, I'm sure I said that at the beginning of the video as well. If you have any questions, comments, stick them in the comment section below. I think my email's in there as well in the description box. I'm more than happy to help clarify. If I can help, I will. And yeah, that's what I have for this reading. So thank you once again for watching, and we will see you next time.